What if I told you that one of Glacier National Park's most iconic hikes was discovered during an exploration trip in the 1890s and named because avalanches crashed down the cliffs while the explorers were still there? Come on a hike with us to get you ready for the Avalanche Lake Trail with 13 popular questions about this beautiful adventure full of natural wonder. Let's get started. Later we will get into what you should take with you, but let's begin our hike and our first question with, why is Avalanche Lake called Avalanche Lake? Back in 1895, a man named Dr. Lyman Sperry, a professor and adventurer, led an exploratory group into what we now call Glacier National Park. When they arrived at this alpine basin, they were stunned by the view, but the booming sounds of avalanches crashing down the cliffs were overwhelming. Later, when we show you the lake, imagine snow, ice, and rock ripping down the sheer walls of Bear Hat Mountain and its neighboring peaks. Trees were flattened. The sound echoed like thunder. So what did Sperry do? He called it Avalanche Basin on the spot. That raw display of nature's force gave the lake its name and its legacy. So you only have so much time. Is Avalanche Lake and Glacier National Park worth the hike? Avalanche Lake Trail is one of the crown jewels of Glacier National Park, and for good reason. After a modest climb through dense cedar forest, you're rewarded with a jaw-dropping view, a shimmering glacier-fed lake framed by a rugged amphitheater of cliffs and multiple waterfalls tumbling from snowfields above. In early summer, the waterfalls roar. In the fall, golden light kisses the peaks. It's quiet, spiritual, and cinematic. Whether you're hiking solo or with family and friends, Avalanche Lake is the kind of place that makes your jaw drop and your heart slow down. It's worth every step, as the view will make you pause quietly to absorb the scene. But this is bear country, and the trail can be deadly, which we will explain later. Anyway, how long is the Avalanche Lake Trail, and how difficult is it? Avalanche Lake Trail is nothing extreme, but enough to get your legs and lungs working. One of the reasons people like it so much. But the trail has a gradual incline with a few shorter, steeper sections and is well maintained. Most people can do it without much trouble, especially if they take their time. Avalanche Lake Trail is a 4.6 mile total out and back hike with just over 700 feet of elevation gain. That makes it an easy to moderate hike. The path winds along Avalanche Creek, and every bend offers something new: waterfalls, giant cedar trees, mossy boulders, and views that whisper, "Keep going, it's going to be worth it." We'll talk about bears next, but when is the best time to hike Avalanche Lake Trail? The window to visit Glacier National Park is so small that this question is easy. Go when you know you can get to the parking lot without snow, which means late June through September. But in early summer, the waterfalls that pour into the lake are supercharged by snowmelt, turning the scene into something out of a fantasy movie. By July, the trail is mostly dry and wildflowers line the path. September brings golden larches and fewer crowds. Go early in the day for the best lighting and fewer people. If you hike at sunrise, you'll see the lake like a mirror, as you see on the day we went, perfectly still and reflecting the mountains above. It's a magical experience. Are there bears on the Avalanche Lake Trail? Glacier National Park is home to both grizzly and black bears, and although this trail is popular and often busy, bear encounters can still happen. It's important to carry bear spray and make noise as you hike, especially in the early morning or late evening when bear activity increases. Stick to the trail, hike in groups if possible, and don't leave food behind. It's their home, we're just visiting. But did you know there is an even more deadly hidden danger on this trail? We'll discuss that later, but first, every good hiking video needs a dad joke. Since we are hiking to a lake, what do you call a fish wearing a bow tie? Sophisticated. Okay, let's get back to the list and answer. Is the Avalanche Lake Trail crowded? You won't be alone out there. But don't let that discourage you. Start your hike early before 8 a.m. or in the late afternoon, and you'll find pockets of peace, and on the way out, you won't get a lot of two-way traffic. And once you reach the lake, there's enough shoreline to spread out and claim your own quiet spot to sit, snack, and soak it all in. On the way back, you'll see more people. Avalanche Lake is popular, especially between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. in July and August, but is limited by parking and shuttle service. Let's discuss gear next, and later we'll let you know whether you can swim in the lake. What gear should I take when hiking Avalanche Lake Trail? When hiking Avalanche Lake Trail in Glacier National Park, it's important to pack smart. Changing weather, bear activity, and rugged terrain can catch people off guard. Start with a good hydration day pack with 1.5 to 2.5 liter water bladder. This will give you room for water and be perfect for carrying your layers, snacks, and safety gear. For footwear, sturdy trail shoes or hiking boots are key, and consider waterproof options early in the season when snowmelt often makes the trail muddy or even flooded in sections. Trekking poles are optional but great for stability, particularly on steeper or slick sections. Dress in layers that wick moisture and dry quickly. A fleece or lightweight down jacket is smart even in summer, and a rain jacket or windbreaker is highly recommended. Depending on the day, you might want warm gloves. Weather in Glacier can shift quickly and storms roll in with little warning, but don't forget sun protection and consider a hat, sunglasses, and sunscreen, especially once you reach the lake or tree cover disappears and the alpine sun reflects off the water. Read our description now while you watch for examples of what we day hiked with in Glacier National Park. We'll discuss what to pack later, but can you swim in Avalanche Lake? The lake is fed by snowmelt and glacial runoff, so the water is often just above freezing, even in August. A lot of hikers take off their boots, dip their feet in the water, and maybe splash around. Some brave souls jump in for a quick, shock-filled swim. It's a full-body wake-up call. If you go in, keep it quick, skip the soap to protect the habitat, and leave no trace. I'm not one for cold swims, but you can swim and I bet you won't be long. We'll let you know where the bathrooms are next, but are you enjoying this walk and talk format? We share all of our travels this way to help you plan your trip well. Subscribe today so the next time you search a national park we've been to, our videos come up at the top of your search results. Are there bathrooms or water along Avalanche Lake Trail? Use the facilities before you go. As for water, bring your own. At least 1 liter per person, more on hot days. There are creeks and streams, but you'll need a filter or purifier if you plan to refill. Don't count on drinking glacier water unless you come prepared. Bathrooms are located only at the Trail of the Cedars trailhead and the Avalanche Creek picnic area. Once you're on the trail, there's nothing until you return. Are dogs allowed on the Avalanche Lake Trail? Dogs aren't allowed on any hiking trails in Glacier National Park, including this one. That's to protect wildlife and the natural ecosystem and keep everyone safe, especially in bear country. If you're traveling with a pup, look into dog-friendly trails outside the park in nearby national forests. Inside the park, dogs are welcome in developed areas, campgrounds, and parking lots, but it's best to leave them at home. We'll show you how to get to the trail later, but what should I pack when hiking Avalanche Lake Trail? Water is a must, so bring at least 1 to 1.5 liters per person. Bring high-energy snacks or even a packed lunch to enjoy something to eat while soaking in the views at the lake. Also, don't forget motivation. We like to bring gummy worms, fruit chews, or other treats for when the hike gets long. Because you're hiking in bear country, bear spray is required. Carry it where it's easy to access, either on your backpack strap or on your belt. A small first aid kit is smart too. There are no real cliff edges, so you can leave the rescue rope in the car. Bring a camera or your phone to capture memories, but consider packing a small power bank, as the cold can zap your battery quickly. Download a trail map offline or bring a paper one, and bring a compass and flashlight with batteries just in case. While the route is clear, it's always wise to have a backup map, and if you get caught after dark, you'll want the light. Do people die on the Avalanche Lake Trail in Glacier National Park? Like any hike in Glacier National Park, there are real risks if you're unprepared. One of the biggest concerns is wildlife. This is bear country, and carrying bear spray and knowing how to use it is absolutely essential. We can't say it enough. Staying alert, hiking in groups, and making noise can greatly reduce the risk of a surprise encounter. But what might be more dangerous is the creek itself. Recently, people have slipped and fallen into Avalanche Creek. They were swept into the gorge and killed by the raging waters. But enjoy the creek from a distance and you'll be fine. So while Avalanche Lake Trail isn't considered a dangerous hike, it does demand respect. Where does the Avalanche Lake Trail start? Your journey begins on the Trail of the Cedars, which is located just north of Lake McDonald, on Going to the Sun Road. The trail is a short, wheelchair-accessible loop through an ancient forest of towering western red cedars and hemlocks. It feels like walking through a living cathedral. About halfway around the Trail of the Cedars, you'll see a sign for Avalanche Lake, and that's where the true adventure begins. The shift is subtle. The wheelchair-accessible trail ends, and the incline, routes, and steps begin. As you walk, the sound of Avalanche Creek gets louder. You're heading deeper into the park to a landscape shaped by water, time, and ice. To continue planning your trip to Glacier National Park, watch this video next.